Hello and welcome back to another episode of Nintendnews, a name so generic that it's giving New Super Mario Bros. A run for its money. Late last year, we got to see N64 games finally added to Switch. Now, other than the fact that this was ridiculously later than what it should have been, and by what it should have been I mean from pretty much launch, it was still nice to finally see them added. Even if it was part of a new expansion pack that most people wouldn't really want to buy because it wasn't worth it. One of the big reasons why people didn't want to use it, well, other than the price point, other than the lack of content, other than all of that, is the fact that the N64 emulation was kind of buggy as all hell. A massive example that you usually see pointed out when it comes to this is, oh look, here's the water in Ocarina of Time. Look, it's supposed to be all reflective, so you can see Shadow Link underneath and whatever else, but you can't see it. Oh no. I'm saying this like, oh haha, look at these people being nitpicky, but no, this was kind of unexcusable. We then saw another bug being added, which was the Paper Mario 64 bug, where if you died when using Watt, one of the characters in the game, one of the partners, the game crashes and you lose your save file forever, I think. I'm not sure exactly how the issue went, but I think that's it. And now, a good, 2 months after they added that game, Paper Mario 64 to the Switch, we finally have gotten another update to N64 Online that seems to make everything work. The water graphics are now displayed in the proper way in Ocarina of Time, and you don't have a game-breaking bug whenever you die in Paper Mario. They also finally added Majora's Mask system, which I'm really happy for. Love me some Majora's Mask, I think. I'm probably not going to play it though for a good while. Now, it is a really good thing to see Nintendo finally updating the whole thing to actually function as it should. Maybe they did this because, Majora's Mask would be completely broken and wouldn't function whatsoever without these fixes, or maybe they just listened to all the feedback, and by feedback I mean angry ranting towards them to fix it and fixed it. A while ago, Nintendo had this little graph that showed over time how the Nintendo Switch Online stuff and content being on the Switch and whatever else would increase. So I'm thinking that we might definitely be in that, where over time we're seeing more and more things being added, more things being fixed, general quality of life improvements, so hopefully soon enough, the expansion pass will be worth it in a lot of people's eyes. In fact, once the Booster Course Pass comes out, I kinda see it as worth it. Like, if you're a fan of both Mario Kart and Animal Crossing, then you'd have to spend, $55 on it in total? While this expansion pass is only $30 additional dollars to the $20 you're already paying for Switch Online. So, $50 a year, but still. So, yeah, it is great to see Nintendo finally fixing that whole thing. Hopefully we can pick up the pace with the N64 games a bit more, because I think I read somewhere that there's 48 odd planned in total. We've got 12 or 14 or so far. But either way, when more games do get added, hopefully they will have more function. I don't want somebody's first experience of a game that I really enjoy or somebody else really enjoys to be, oh, broke. Now let's move on from good news to bad news. Oh boy. So, remember 2020 odd? I think it was 2020. Remember Free Melee? Hey, remember when Nintendo shut down the big competition that was going to be online because, oh, you're tampering or you don't actually own the games or whatever the hell they said. Yeah, and then remember when they announced a collaboration with some other company to hold both a Melee tournament and an Ultimate tournament? Yeah, remember those things? Well, recently Nintendo was pulled out of EVO, which was the big place where you'd fight Smash Bros. But now, there's been many theories as to why this is. Some think maybe because they're already collaborating with that other company that they want to focus all their energy onto that big competition, or maybe it's because I think EVO was bought by PlayStation. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think so. So maybe Nintendo doesn't want to exactly be helping the competition. No matter what reason it is, Nintendo still pulled out of a beloved competition and the pretty much only way it could really fight people in Smash tournaments that were official. And people have gotten really angry over it. So if it is the case that this other competition will be happening around that time and Nintendo wants people to go to that instead, I can understand the decision. It still sucks somewhat, but if it just means that there's going to be better prizes and such for that big one, then sure. But if it's for no reason whatsoever other than, oh, we hate the competition, or oh, Smash is a party game, then that is just inexcusable. Oh, and by the way, it is Nintendo who did it. EVO officially stated that yes, Nintendo themselves decided to pull out. It's not that they haven't responded yet or, anything like that. It's just, hey, no, we just aren't, no. Next is another bad thing. Oh, Nintendo, that's 2 bad things in a row. That's bad. Nintendo Eshop closure. Now, we all knew this was an inevitability, okay? Back when the Wii Shop channel closed, we all knew that one day the 3DS and Wii U would be taken down next. And that day has come in a year's time. And that is kind of sad. The Wii U has a pretty big library of games when it comes to past games, I mean. Well, also games themselves, but still, mostly we're going to be talking about the Virtual Console here. Like, this system had the NES, Super Nintendo, N64, not the GameCube, it had the Game Boy Advance, though. I'm thinking maybe Game Boy Color, I'm not 100% sure, and DS games. This system was one of the first ways many people experienced some beloved titles from all of those. And even though the emulation was shoddy, and I don't think there's button mapping, and fans had done better hacking the Wii years prior, it still was much better than what we have on the Switch currently. Look, I prefer this, pay for it. Well, I used to pay for the old ones as well. I mean, like, the subscription-based model for this. Buying a bunch of N64 games overall means that more people are going to try more series. Like, they might just buy the service for some Mario games, but then, hey, I've heard great things about Zelda, let's try it. Oh, look, now they're a fan. It makes a lot of sense from a business perspective, and I prefer it as a fan. That, however, doesn't excuse the fact that we only have 3 old systems on Switch. 5 if you want to include Mario Sunshine as the entirety of the GameCube library on Switch, and Galaxy. However, I don't include those 2 as, well, they're part of a collection that isn't being sold anymore. Okay, well, it's still being sold in some places, but it isn't being sold from, like, the Nintendo stores or from the eShop. Now, recently Nintendo said that we're only halfway through the Switch's lifespan, roughly, so hopefully, once we reach the end, we will have all the systems. Okay, well, all of them is a bit too much. Hopefully, to be honest, what I'm really hoping for is that we can get to the point where DS games are on Switch. I know there'd be so many issues with it, such as we don't have a microphone on Switch, so how are we supposed to sort that out? I mean, the dual screen thing, of course, if you just have an option menu that pops up when you press, like, the left trigger and right trigger. DS controls, you could theoretically use a gyro control type thing, or of course use the actual built-in touchscreen only when you're using handheld, which, speaking of which, if DS games do come to Switch, I really don't want to see them become handheld only. I do want them to try and think about workarounds. Like, say, left trigger, that's how you open up the menu, so you can go, oh look, here's a save point, whatever else, and your options. Then the right trigger, that can be used like a press down of the stylus. Or you could have it so left trigger, that's a restabilization of the stylus, like you saw in Pikmin 3 Deluxe, where it brings it to the middle of the screen. Right trigger is to select, and if you hold down both at the same time, then that's what pops up the menu. But we probably won't get that, so, I mean, it would still be better, though, if we could get some more systems on there. Like Game Boy Advance, GameCube, Wii, those are the only 3 I care about, bar like DS. And maybe even 3DS, who knows. But anyway, back to the Wii U Shop e-channel and the 3DS e-channel. Jesus Christ, I can't even say the name. Moving away from just the older content which is available on both these systems, there's also a good amount of games that you could buy from them, and a good amount of software they could only download through them. Now, while you still can buy the games for the 3DS from, stores that resell old games or online, the prices are usually a lot more than what they should be. So if you're looking to legally buy a lot of these titles, you sadly aren't going to get the chance now. Unless you want to pay an arm and a leg, or, well, piracy. Can you even call it piracy when Nintendo isn't selling it anymore? Now, when this was announced, a person brought up the fact, and they're like a proper person who works in the whole world of IT, they're saying that this makes a lot of sense from a business standpoint when it comes to shutting down these servers. These servers are a good 10 odd years old now, so they're running on really old software and really old hardware and whatever else, so they're having to keep putting more and more money into making it work. Like, you know how an old car, how you have to keep on putting stuff into that, and then eventually it gets to the point where, oh, we only have this one very specific gear that works for it, and you need to spend like 20,000 on it. It's kind of like that, and the amount of money Nintendo are probably putting in to keep those servers alive doesn't equate to the amount of money that is actually being made from said servers. However, the fact that this makes a lot of sense does not excuse the fact that we can't buy these games anywhere else, or at least a majority of them, especially when it comes to the older ones. I guarantee you, while people would still be disappointed about this, there would be a lot less anger towards this whole situation if Nintendo just had Virtual Console better on Switch. However, in the announcement for it, at the very, very bottom of this whole thing, they said, we do not have any plans to put these games on other systems, I think. Okay, yeah, here it is. We currently have no plans to offer classic content in other ways. Oh boy. No plans to offer down their ways. They know. We want older games on the Switch. But here they are going, ha, eat poopy, we have no plans. Now, the weird thing about this is that if Nintendo does have plans, then they wouldn't have needed to say this to throw people off or whatever else. The fact that they've included it here makes it feel like, yes, they are being 100% genuine here, that they are not planning to add more to the Switch. Now, of course, leakers and such say otherwise, that they are developing hardware for putting Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance and all that on the Switch, and it would make a lot of sense from a business standpoint to, sell us the old games you have the rights to and use the engine you've already built that works on Switch. Not engine, emulator, but still. I really do hope that this is a lie. Nintendo has lied a lot in the past, so hopefully this is not a situation like that where, oh, we're teasing you, we're tricking you, we're little scamps we are. But it might not be. It just genuinely boggles me and many others why Nintendo are allergic to making money from their older games. Thousands of people would love to play Luigi's Mansion, the first one on Switch, or Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. Thousands more would love to play, say, Super Mario Galaxy 2, or, well, thousands more wouldn't apply to Super Paper Mario fans, but still. So yeah, suffice to say, expect a lot of downloads of Dolphin Emulator and Citra soon enough. And by soon enough, I mean in a year's time. Now, the real question with this, what's gonna happen to Nintendo Badge Arcade? Okay, you know the funny game where you pick up the badges, then you put them on the home menu, and it's all cool, but you get like 2 free goes a day, 3 if you do the practice. Well, you might get more than 3 in the practice, but still. Like, are the servers of that gonna get shut down forever? No, because the thing about it is that it's kind of tied into the eShop having to pay for the extra goes on that, which, why would you pay, you psychopath? So, are Nintendo gonna shut that down? Are they gonna shut down, like, the Spot Pass? Street Pass, whatever you want to call it? Are they gonna shut down that? What about the online servers for games like Mario Kart 7, which surprisingly is still going? Animal Crossing New Leaf, which people still prefer over the new one. These shops closing down might just start a complete and utter collapse of the 3DS system, and then go over to Wii U. Splatoon 1 still has a somewhat strong fan base. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, no, Mario Kart 8 Normal, surprisingly has some players on it still. So even though this might just be seen as the shops closing down, this could be everything shutting down. Hopefully that's not the case, especially for 3DS, because Animal Crossing New Leaf is a lot better than New Horizons in many aspects. But to be honest with you, I just don't know. Now, like a real news channel, let's end this whole thing off with something nice, and just nice in general. Moving away from the 2 previous topics that kinda stunk. So, a Pokemon Presents, whatever, Jesus Christ. That happened. I didn't watch it, I just skimmed through it. There's a new generation coming out. A lot of people are saying it's roughly time for a Gen 9, and to be honest, I hate how people were saying that. The fact that Pokemon games come out so frequently kind of disgusts me. Look at Breath of the Wild, which took like 5 years to develop. You get like roughly 5 years between each big Zelda title. Then, like with Pokemon, you get like 2 with a bunch of games in between that aren't like the big main generations. Like, it's been what, a year or 2 since the Pokemon Sword and Shield DLCs? That's not that much time to develop a wholly new game. Mix that in with Arceus development, and Jesus Christ, I feel sorry for the developers. However, despite this, the game actually looks kind of good. Graphics look much nicer than what we saw on Sword and Shield, and even a little bit better than Arceus. The Pokemon don't look half bad, the player model looks a bit iffy, but in all fairness, this is early footage, and unlike when we initially saw Arceus where we said, oh, it's just early footage, this actually could be changed between now and whenever it releases, which we didn't get a release date for. And the most exciting part of all, it is open world. They officially stated it, they used that exact terminology, that this next game is going to be an open world Pokemon. Now, about bloody time. Many people thought that was going to be Arceus, but I've heard that it's kind of mission based. I haven't gotten the chance to play it yet, but I will tell you once I have. Many thought Sword and Shield would be like that as well, with the fact that you have the big open areas, but once again, that was just a straight line. Like, it was literally more of a straight line than the older titles, like, Jesus. How do you underperform from a game that was on the Game Boy? Like, that's just sad. But anyway, yes, open world Pokemon doesn't look half bad. We don't know too much about it yet, but I am hoping that it is good. This is the second Pokemon game in a row now where I'm looking at it going, I might be interested in this. And you know what? I'm scared. I don't know what the Pokemon team is on, or what new direction they've taken, like, from who specifically, but whatever they're doing, whatever they've changed, whatever else, I am a big fan. I like how they're trying to push the envelope forward, you know, changing away and moving forward from the, you know, whole gameplay idea of 8 gyms and all that introduced way back in the first title. And that was like 25 odd years ago. You know, I'm glad to see we can move away from that. So yeah, there you go, that's another funny little Nintendo news. There's like, what, 4 topics today? Yeah, 4. Impressive. Sorry for not making one in the past 3 weeks, it's just, like, the big main thing was a Direct, which had its own series of videos to be made from it, so we didn't really need one. Besides, I feel it's better if we do get a couple more concepts, well not concepts, news pieces in than just like 1 or 2. This one contains 4 and is going to be roughly, what, 16, 17 odd minutes long, and that's not bad. It's quite a decent length for these. So yeah, if you want to come back to this video, leave a like, subscribe if you've seen a couple at this point. Seriously, if you've watched a couple, first of all, why would you do this to yourself? Second of all, subscribe. Comment down below what you think of some of the things I said. You know, are you for or against Nintendo's closure of the Eshop channel? What do you think about how they're just not putting their old games on the system? Seriously. I mean, we have no further plans to add classic content to our system. Like, what do you think of that? Anyway, next one, see you in... Bye-bye.